Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. June 22nd, 2025. Game 7 of the NBA Finals tonight. And we got 5 WNBA games. So it's a ton of stuff to get into. Don't really have a recap because yesterday's games in WNBA sucked. I didn't bet any of them. And I would have been on the wrong side of probably both if I had actually made a wager. So player props didn't go the way I thought that they would either. I liked, who was it? Alyssa Thomas to go over her points, rebounds, and assists. She wasn't even needed because of the big blowout. Chicago, historically bad three-point defense yesterday. They get smoked at the crib yesterday. So, and then when Nafisha Collier not playing, I stayed off of that game as well. So no recap for me. Didn't bet anything. I do have some wagers I made today and a couple I'm looking to add as well. So we'll go NBA first. I think is how I got it set up. And then we'll jump into the WNBA as well. So, yeah, that is the quick recap of what we've had happen since the last time I've been doing a show in general. So let's go through a couple comments and then we'll get into what jaXon likes for the day as well. Appreciate you all for tapping in. Do me a favor, hit the like button for me if you can, man. Take a second before we get the show started. Hit the like button for me if you can. Gina says, good morning, Chris. Went 0-2 in the W last night. Lost at over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists for De'Erica. Alyssa Thomas. And De'Erica Hamby over her 7.5 boards, which I like both of those looks, but that's how the WNBA has been. She says been rough lately. Less cash today. Absolutely. Chad says, shout out to the Mercury. I think he had -7.5 last night, and they smoked the Chicago Sky at the crib with the rest disadvantage. 4th straight road game. Did not matter at all. Sonny says, Liberty bounce back spot. I'm putting a dime on them. And I have a future bet on the Thunder tonight to win 10 racks, 10.7K tonight. I like to see that, Sonny. Hopefully you cash. Liberty are not the same without JJ, Chaz says. Going against one of the best teams in the Storm. I got +4.5. But see if it's an outright win for the Storm as well. Sonny going back a little bit with him as well. Some back and forth there. Brian says, happy Sunday, everyone. Let's get paid. That's what I'm here for. Daddy said, let's go Pacers. Indy. Aaron says game under, 4th quarter live bet under. What up, Peasy? Appreciate you for tapping in. David says, Chris, you gotta visit Indianapolis, fam. Would love to have you out. Eventually I might pop out there. I feel like no time is better than now. What's going on in Indy as far as sports go, especially basketball. I'll get up there eventually, sooner or later. David says he likes full game under as well. Chad throwing in some plus 17 units what he's on in today and what his overall record has been. I'm with you, KC. WNBA has been on some BS for sure. That's one of the reasons I've been kind of scaling back. I really want to take off in the WNBA, and I thought we were going to be able to do that last week when we had the 4-0 night, and I was like, oh yeah, I got a lot of my money back. Had turned positive for the season, and then yesterday I was like, I don't like these games enough to bet them, so I stayed away. I do have a couple bets for today though. What's up, Dom? Since happy Sunday, Chris and chat. Never thought I'd see my Pacers in the finals game 7. Me either, if I'm being honest. Not anytime soon, man. Not anytime soon. Jason says Kayla McBuckets went crazy yesterday without Fia. She absolutely did. Forgot how many threes she hit, but that should have been the play. I was watching the game last night thinking, like, why didn't we just bet Kayla McBride threes? The Sparks defense sucked. It sucks from the 3-point line, and McBuckets is shooting like 45% from the 3-point line this season. So I probably should put myself in timeout for that. Dom says he grabbed the Sky plus 33.5 live in the 4th quarter. Man, that's man, the Sky are terrible basketball. We'll talk about them in just a second, man. Let's jump into it for today. So jaXon up first. I'm gonna read to you guys. I got a lot of energy today. I don't know if you guys could tell. Might probably gonna get a chance to catch up with some high school friends that I haven't seen in probably like 10, 15 years to watch the game tonight. I'm super excited about that. And just the overall, man, it's game 7 of the NBA Finals, man. A lot to be excited about. And we got a ton of action on the board for today. It's just going to be a really good day, man. It's going to be a really good day. I'm a big believer in speaking things into existence, and I'm going to just speak that into existence. Not even from a betting perspective, but just from an overall perspective, just from a wealth and health perspective. Everything is going to be good today, man. I'm going to put that into the universe right now. So I want to know jaXon's thought on the spread specifically in tonight's game, right? Ton of money has come in on the Pacers. This line opened at 8.5. It's all the way down to 7 now. The books have had to adjust the line. New article just came out from Dave. I think it's Purdue. I forgot how you pronounce his name, but the dude that works for ESPN that covers sports betting just wrote an article just released on ESPN. I read it maybe 15 minutes ago, and it was talking about how much money, the sharp money, has come in on Indiana Pacers. So let's jump into the spread specifically for tonight. Prompt is thoughts on Game 7 from a spread perspective. As always, the link is in the description to check out jaXon if you guys want to use it for other handicapping purposes. Today will be the last day of the NBA, of course, but you can use this for MLB. You can use it for NBA. You can use it for MLB. You can use it for WNBA. You can use it for UFC. You can use it for soccer. You can use it for all the different sports. It just can help you with your handicapping process. So jaXon tells me, and I'm going to read this pretty quickly. It's Game 7 of the NBA Finals between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder is shaping up to be a thrilling matchup. Let me pull up the spread lines, expert betting advice, and sharp picks to give you a detailed perspective on the best spread bet for tonight's game. So Game 7 spread and analysis. The Game 7 of the NBA Finals between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder sets up to tip off at 8 o'clock. The Thunder are currently favored by 7 points, making them one of the largest Game 7 favorites in NBA history. Let's break down the spread and provide insight into tonight's game. Thunders. So key things to consider. Thunder's home dominance. The Thunder have been exceptional at home this season, boasting a 45-8 home record and an impressive 19-2 record following a loss. In the series, Oklahoma City has won 2 of the 3 home games, both by double digits, 120-108. That was Game 2. 123-101. That was Game 5. Their lowest margin of victory at home in the playoffs has been 7 points, which aligns with tonight's spread. Pacers resilience. The Pacers have defined expectations throughout the playoffs, forcing the Game 7 after a dominant 108-91 victory in Game number 6. They've shown the ability to adjust, particularly on defense, forcing 21 turnovers in Game 6 and holding the Thunder to just 42% shooting. However, Indiana has struggled to cover the spread in losses. They're 0-7 against the spread in postseason losses and have not covered in a loss since October of 2024. I don't know about that, but I low-key want to check that. Pacers, 18. So games that they lose. I got to check that. Let's just hold up for a second. That's a fact. That is factual. The Pacers have not covered a game that they've lost since losing to the last game that they covered was October the 28th, my birthday, against the Orlando Magic. I vividly remember being on the Magic in this spot, and the Magic had that dud of a third quarter. It's crazy how this triggers a thought process in my mind. I remember being on the Magic in this spot, and the Pacers covered that game, which they shouldn't have. Pacers had a crazy third quarter. The Magic smoked them in the fourth quarter, but did not cover the 5.5 point spread. They were laying 5.5, and they lost the game by the Pacers lost the game by 4. That's the last time that the Pacers have covered a game that they've lost. And their 39 losses throughout the full season and the postseason, they are 0-39, of course. These are all losses. 1-38 against the spread. 1-38 are the Pacers against the spread. All of the playoffs losses, the one to the Bucks in the playoffs, the one to the Cavs in the playoffs, the 2 to the Knicks in the playoffs, and all 3 to the Thunder, they have not covered. They have not covered any of them. Losses by 11, 7, 16, 17, 6, 22, 16, 14, 21. I don't know, man. That just kind of threw me for. I don't read these before I'm reading them. I just read them to you guys and process them myself. So that's very interesting to me. Let's jump back into it. So, let's see. So, however, the Thunder have struggled to cover the spread in losses. They're 0-7 against the spread in postseason losses that have not covered in a loss since October 2024. Fact. Historical trends. The Thunder have covered the spread in all three of their wins this series. Additionally, they've covered 7 of the last 8 postseason wins. Historically, large Game 7 favorites in the NBA Finals, spreads of 6.5 points or higher, are 0-3 against the spread, but 3-0 straight up. This suggests that while the Thunder are likely to win, covering the spread may be challenging. Spread recommendation. Given the Thunder's dominance at home and their ability to cover spreads and wins, betting on Oklahoma City -7 is a strong play. The Pacers' inability to cover in losses further support this pick. However, if you believe in Indiana's momentum and their team of destiny narrative, those are in quotes, taking the Pacers +7 offers value, especially considering the sharp action on the Pacers earlier in the week. There you go. jaXon got the spread and the side all laid out for you guys. Best of luck if you guys are betting it that way. I'll talk about it in just a second. Another prompt, just because I love you guys so much. Another one from jaXon. 2 best WNBA player props today. 1 over, 1 under. jaXon likes Ryan Howard. I don't know why jaXon likes Ryan Howard so much. jaXon likes Ryan Howard over her rebounds and assists. I mean, hard to talk you off against the Dream. They suck. I mean, against the Sky, they suck. But I mean, could be another blowout here, right? 9.5 rebounds and assists for Ryan Howard at -112 on FanDuel. It says that she has had a strong run, hitting the over in 80% of her last 5 games, 90% of her last 10 on this prop. Against the Sky this season, she hit the over 100% hit rate, averaging 12 assists and rebounds in the previous matchup. Home advantage at home this season, Howard has hit the over 83% of her games, averaging 11.17 assists plus rebounds. And then the under, same game, it's actually Angel Reese under her points plus rebounds. Under 22.5 points plus rebounds at -118 on FanDuel. Says she's hit the under 40% of her last 5 games, 35% of her last 20, showing inconsistency and surpassing the line. Against the Atlanta Dream, Reese has failed to hit the line, averaging 21 points plus rebounds in the previous matchup. Road struggles with Reese. While Reese has been solid on the road, her average of 25.5 points plus rebounds is inflated by a few standout performances, making the under a safer play given her recent trends. So Angel Reese under her points plus rebounds and Ryan Howard over her assists plus rebounds is what jaXon likes today. Just to recap, Satu Sabally was the look that jaXon liked yesterday, over 26.5 points plus rebounds, and that was a loser just because of the blowout. Nafisha Collier under on her boys was a void because she did not play yesterday. So those are the thoughts from jaXon. A little more detail today. Let's jump into the matchup. We'll go with the NBA first. Like I said, it's a very difficult game, in my opinion, right? I'll start with what I want to happen first, and then I'll tell you guys how I think it'll play out. So in my mind, I want the Pacers to win. I really do. I feel like I've been an underdog my entire life. I want the underdog to win. And I feel like the Thunder played around with their food a little bit too much. The way that they played around and not even played around, just didn't even show up in game 6. I kind of want the Pacers to win, man. I know the Thunder are elite at home. Like, I completely understand that. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But as far as what I want to happen, I do want the Thunder to lose. I feel like the Thunder just haven't been good enough to get the job done on the road. But this is what you play all season for, right? This is why you try to get the best record, not just for your conference, not just for your division, not just for, any of those things, but for in case there is a game 7, you wanted to be on your home floor. The Thunder have been the most dominant home team in the NBA by far this season, not even close. But the spread has come down from 8.5 down to 7. The total has come down as well. I think this actually went up in the beginning. I think the consensus right now is 214.5. We'll talk a little bit more about that all together. So game 4, this was the game that the Pacers were at the crib. And we saw the Thunder really, really struggle to shoot the 3-point shot, right? They shot 3 for 16 on the road. Game 5, they go back home. They shoot the ball really well from the 3-point line. That that 30%, that 18% here turns into 43% at the crib. And then you fast forward to game 6, what happens? They can't stop turning the ball over. They can't make any threes, and the defensive intensity just wasn't there from the beginning of the game. And that's why they got smoked, right? If you go back and look at it, I mean, the numbers are quantified here. 21 turnovers, not going to get the job done. They end up giving up 19 points off those turnovers. They also just don't do a great job of sharing the basketball on the road for whatever reason. 14 assists in their game on the road, whereas in game 5, you can see that they had 24 assists. So assists were down, turnovers were up. 3-point shooting was down in this game, of course, just 26%. They only ended up with 91 points, in the Pacers, just a team that's super resilient, that's always going to keep fighting back. That's what they did in this game, even with a compromised Tyrese Halliburton. So here are the trends for you guys, for my trend guys. I want to put them on the screen just so you guys can see them. OKC, specifically at the crib this season, 38-15 against the number. They've covered 71.7% of their games. Really, really hard trend to bet against. 5-2 against the spread, 71% after a road loss this season when they return back home in the next game. And then you can see for the Pacers, right, 7-4 straight up and against the number on the road this season in the playoffs. They've been exceptional. 1-3 straight up and against the spread in OKC. However, 3-1 to the over as well. And then you got some situational trends as far as the total goes. Somebody hit me on Twitter, asked me what's game 7 an under game. It absolutely is. Most people know this, right? Totals are 44 and 28 to the under in game sevens in general. Finals game sevens, those are in game sevens. So when you just look at the final game sevens, 4-0 to the under all time as well. And in situational trend spots, home favorites in game 7, 36 and 32 against the spread. 5-9 though. I actually posted this on Twitter. 5-9 against the spread if they're coming off a loss of 15 points or more. So you could say that the Pacers do have all the momentum in this spot, which I absolutely agree with. I do think the Pacers have all the momentum for sure. So the way I want to bet it, and I don't know, let's just make sure. Let's see if I edited the graphic or not. Yeah. The way I try to make sense of it all is this, right? So you can see at the top, right? OKC at home in the finals. These are the games that have been played so far in the finals, right? They are making a lot more shots. 13 made threes per game. At the bottom, you can see OKC on the road. Only 7 made threes per game, shooting 31% versus 40% at the crib. 10 turnovers per game at the crib. 17 on the road, right? I'm just comparing and contrasting these numbers here. They forced 20 turnovers at home, right? Me and Dropping Downs were talking about this the other day. They forced 20 turnovers is what OKC is forcing from the Pacers. The Pacers not even a turnover-prone team. Forced 20 turnovers at the crib, only 12 and a half on the road. And then you can see the big differential, of course, is the first quarter and the first half. Plus 14 and a half in point differential in the first half at the crib. Minus 9.7 point differential in the first half on the road. Average 117 points at the crib. Average only 103 points on the road. So the offense and the defense they just kind of a night and day. For that reason, I can't bet against the Thunder here. I think if I know if I want the Thunder, I want them early. I do think this is the classical zigzag theory, even though the Pacers have fought tooth and nail to get this series even in this spot, especially with a compromised Tyrese Halliburton. I think Thunder first quarter minus the 2.5, Thunder first half minus the 4.5, based on the numbers that we've seen so far are the top looks, in my opinion. I'm not laying points with the Thunder for the full game. Can they win this game, by margin? Absolutely. We've seen that. jaXon just talked about it as well. But I kind of want the Pacers to win too. So top play of the game would be OKC to come out, throw the first punch, understanding that, this for all the marbles. You got the home crowd behind you. They've started every single game off by winning the first quarter and first half as well. And I think that they make the proper adjustments to what Indiana was doing in the last game. And they at least assert themselves early in the game. Now, will they win? Will they cover the spread? Who knows? But I do like the Oklahoma City Thunder to just in the classical zigzag theory, especially after getting smoked in the last game, early in that game. OKC first quarter, minus 2.5, OKC first half would be the ways that I want to play it. I haven't made a bet yet. As far as player props go, let's just take a quick little dive over to Outlier really quickly. We bet this was actually the last bet that I placed in this series, and this was a bet on this was a bet in game 5 because I didn't bet game 6. The player prop that I played was Tyrese Halliburton under on his assist prop, and I still like it. Again, the number of course is down. A lot of these numbers are going to be down just because it's game 7 of the finals, so you won't see with the total coming down, a lot of these numbers will come down as well. So we got Halliburton on the road. So last 2 games you can see, right? Just 6 and 5 assists. He did get the 7 here, but he hasn't gotten to 7 assists. And it's the same thing I just said in the last when I played this in game number 5. He hasn't gotten to 7 assists on the road yet, right? 6 in game 1, 6 in game 2, and then 6 in game number 5 as well. Game 6, even at the crib, he only had 5 assists. We saw Andrew Nembhard run a lot more at a point guard position. And also the potentials, right? Always got to look at the potentials. They're continuously coming down with his assists coming down as well. So 10 is the lowest he's had since the New York Knicks series, where he also finished with 6 assists here. You can see that right here. These numbers all align for me. So I like Tyrese Halliburton under his 6.5 assists, even though the odds are actually priced in favor of him to get 7 assists. I don't think that he's going to get 7 assists in this game. So Tyrese Halliburton is my favorite player prop, just kind of going back to what I saw, what I liked. And I think just him continuing to be compromised as well. That's the way I want to bet player prop in this game. So a lot of different looks, but just to recap, Tyrese Halliburton under his 6.5 assists. I think SGA seeing the double teams that he saw, potential for him to go over his assists, that would be honorable mention. But OKC first quarter, OKC first half, Pacers full game are the ways that I want to bet today's game. No, I said a whole lot. I know I'm going to go back up to the top and see what you guys are thinking. I'll try to get through these comments really quickly, and then we'll move over to the WNBA, where we also have a lot of games for today as well. Let's see. Bernie says, let's go. Beanie says, let's go Pacers. Busy says, good morning, Chris and Chaz. Where's the tie at today? I've been back at the crib already, Busy. I did get up, though. Did get up this morning, man. Pacers money line. Chad says just under the 214.5 for me. I do like it. I also consider, Chad, taking both of these teams to go under their team total. I know it's not necessarily the greatest, the greatest bet to make for OKC, because when they win, they typically do cover. But real quick, if we look at the Thunder at the crib, if we look at the Thunder at the crib at home, they went under their team total in game 1. They did go over in game 2, and they did go over in game 4 as well. I just kind of feel like all the adjustments are made. The intensity is going to be at the highest. The pace may slow down in this game as well. I kind of want to bet both teams to go under their team total. The Pacers they've actually gone over their team total twice in this series, only under by 1 point in game number 2 as well. But yeah, I do like under. I like under as well. A lot of different ways to play here. What up, Meech says, good morning, everyone. Only really looking at game 7 under, not touching that spread. You and Chad Alon. 100% got to take the Pacers, Livestone says. Dom says he put that Pacers money line in. Hometown guy, Pacers money line plus 240. Gotta go with my guys. I understand it. I do understand it. David says he caught the Pacers plus 275. When the line open, we bring it home to hardware. So we got a couple Pacers guys here. Sonny says, damn. Appreciate you, Lucinio. How you pronounce that? Lucino, I think is how you pronounce that. Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Hope I ain't butchered that too bad. OKC money line. What odds you getting that for, Daryl? And OKC, Daryl been that big upset guy. Chad says feels like everyone wants Thunder to lose at this point. Well, everyone but Trent, of course. I don't pay attention to what Trent. I don't follow him. Don't pay no attention to him. PG says I'm pulling for the Pacers as well. Plus 7. He put it in his pocket. Dirty Rig says it's just too hard to bank on the road team in a game 7, especially in the finals for the outright win. And that is a fact. Real quick, to your point, Dirty Rig, let's look at that, right? So let's look at series game equals 7 and a road dog and round equals 4. Let's see how many times they've actually won. This can't be right. This can't be right. This says it's only happened one time. This says that they are 1-3 straight up, 2-2 against the spread, 4-0 to the under. That might be right. Yeah, the only team that won was shout out to Bron when they beat the Warriors 93-89. This was 2016, so this was the run when they came back down 3-1. The Cavs did to beat the Warriors when Draymond Green wanted to be an idiot. 2016 Cavs. Yep, just talked about it. The only team so far, and that's why I can't bet the Pacers. But I get it if you like the Pacers. Don't let me talk you off at all. I can't bet the money line. Chad says OKC 1-10 win margin will probably sprinkle. Makes sense. Dom says Rick Carlisle switching up from the full court press to pressing as soon as the ball crossed half court. Threw the Thunder completely off. I could see them mixing both coverages. They will probably absolutely have to. And that's the key point, right? Rick Carlisle's been to the finals before. He's won a championship, of course, with the Dallas Mavericks. And this will be the biggest coaching game for Mark Daigneault in the history of his coaching career, for sure. Jay Stone, one of the first people I've seen, said OKC -7, parlay with the Valkyries -8.5. Okay. David says there's a one-on-one matchup we will see tonight that we saw briefly in Game 6. That's one of Rick's finals adjustments because it worked. Checkmate. Okay. OKC for Mitch. First half, most trustworthy. I agree. I do agree. That's the way I want to bet it too. David says Pacers had 2 chances to give the Thunder back-to-back losses, went 0-2. They now have a 3rd chance. God bless. What up, Kilo? Says, what's up, Chris? Happy Sunday, bro. Appreciate the content. Appreciate you as well, Kilo, as always, bro. Hope all is well with you. What's up, Mark? Appreciate you for tapping in. Game 7 of the finals. Both teams may not see 100, Chad says. Mark says, I also see OKC coming out focused and fast first quarter. I will likely play the -2.5. I have played the under all series. Yeah, and I agree. I think what I wrote in my notes yesterday was OKC first quarter -2.5, -120 on ESPN, and OKC first half -4.5 on -115 on BetMGM. So let's see what those numbers are right now. So they should have got better with the full game spread going down, honestly. Actually, not at all. Spread is now gone to 3 on pretty much every book. First quarter, you still can get a juice 2.5 at -120 on FanDuel. I play it there because ESPN Bet was a -120 anyway. ESPN Bet is now actually a plus. ESPN Bet not even popping up on my laptop screen. And then the first half, the best number you can get is 4.5 is still there at -115 on BetMGM. So these numbers are still available. That's the way I want to play. That's been the most trustworthy thing. The Thunder at the crib, they're going to come out with the intensity and ratchet up the effort. That's the way I want to play. Brian says, good morning, Chris. Let's effing go. The NBA got to win. My WNBA loss is back. First quarter, OKC smash spot. Likes it as well. Daryl says, everybody on the Pacers. What's up, Jay Steve? Says, morning, Chris. Haven't caught a live in a while. Hope you and the family are doing well. Appreciate that, Jay. Appreciate that for sure. Everybody's doing really, really good. Appreciate this love as well, man. From, what is that? Botswana? Botswana. I don't even know what that is, but I do appreciate that for sure. Let's see, what else should I say? Both teams under 100 plus 750. That's a little too far, Chad. Not with the pace we've seen between these two teams. I don't think I'd play that, but I understand it. T9 says aggressively hedge my place at 700 series win. Bet Pacers money line in all 3 games, but this is OKC's chip. Everybody loves the Pacers, Ken says. OKC coach been getting out coach. Have a feeling he will today too. A lot of interesting thoughts here. DJ says it's over for the Pacers. They had a nice run. Carlisle, Caruso, and Lou Dort will be the difference today at the crib. -7 for Glow. I could definitely see being low scoring for sure, and that's one of the reasons why I like Tyrese Halliburton under his assists as well. Trying to go out with a banger, man. I haven't bet anything yet, but I like that all the lines I like are still available. What's up, Matt? Appreciate you for typing in. Title time is on the move. Hefe says, morning, Chris. Have to go Pacers money line. If you like them, and sprinkle Pascal Siakam for the MVP. If the Pacers win, I think you got to give the MVP to Pascal Siakam. Unless Halliburton does something like super extreme, I would agree. Lot of looks, man. A lot of thoughts, and I love them. I'm here for all of them, man. Here for all of them. This will be the last show, so wanted to go through as many of the comments as possible. Also, just take a second out to thank you guys for tuning in to the ChrisBeCappinn Show. All throughout. We did preview shows way back in September before the season even started. A lot of gratitude. I don't thank you guys enough for tuning in, for sharing your thought process, for asking the questions, for making my brain start to think about the games in different ways. Absolutely appreciate you all for tuning in for sure, man. Let's push over to the WNBA now. So a couple of these games I'll be pretty quick with. This first game, I want nothing to do with. The Chicago Sky will be on the road, of course, in Atlanta. Let me just make sure I got the most updated injury report. Chicago in this spot, of course, they can submit their injury report late just because they just played yesterday. So second leg of a back-to-back, we can see, players sit. I don't think that they're going to sit anybody. Matter of fact, if you go back to the game yesterday, because Chicago got absolutely punched in the mouth by the Phoenix Mercury, they sit their starters early, right? Angel Reese, Cardosa, Ariel Atkins. Only person that was left out there was Kia Nurse. I was watching the game. Telling my girl, like, Kia Nurse said, I'm leaving here with something. Kia Nurse tried to score 10 points in the fourth quarter. You ain't do nothing all game. And all of a sudden, you want to try to go out there and score. Had 0 into the fourth quarter start. Then she want to go on like a little 7-0 run. Kia Nurse, I'm leaving here with something. But anyway, regardless of that, Chicago Sky, we bet Atlanta last game when they played Chicago. That game was played not too long ago. Matter of fact, let's just go back and see if I can see. I don't want to be on this game long because I know I'm not gonna bet it, but it's Atlanta or nothing. I think Sky still they showed me yesterday being at the crib with 3 days of rest against the Phoenix team. This Atlanta Dream team is just as good defensively. Their offense is even more elite. Atlanta is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games and 9-4 against the spread on the full season. I mean, they could beat this they could beat the Sky team by 100 if they wanted to. In all seriousness, they could beat them by 25 points. And they just played, right? They lost by 18 points, 70-88, back on the 13th. And we were on the Atlanta Dream minus 12.5. They came out a little sluggish, but then they smoked them in the third and fourth quarter. They won the third quarter, matter of fact, by 5. We were on the 4.5, and then they won the fourth quarter 30-16. So 14-point differential in the fourth quarter, ended up winning the game by 18 points. It would only be Atlanta in this spot. That's the only way that I would play it. Don't believe in the Chicago's offense. Their team total, they only got to 70 points in that game. They're on their second leg of a back-to-back. Their team total for today, this total has dropped, is 75 and let's see. It's actually 71.5. A little too close for comfort for me. But I think Atlanta can score as many points as they want. This Chicago team gave up 100 points yesterday, almost through 3 quarters, honestly. They kind of called the dogs off late if you were watching the game. Phoenix got to 107 in that game, and they only scored 15 points in the fourth quarter. So wouldn't surprise me if Mercury were able to score the basketball. If Atlanta was able to score the basketball. If I had to bet this game, I'd probably just stay away from the spread, thinking that Atlanta can score as many points as they want. I would go Atlanta team total over 87.5, thinking that they could get to 90 as well. Why not, right? Why not? Everybody can score against the Sky. You get some points, and you get some points, and you hit a 3, and you get a steal, and you get more points. The Sky are terrible, man. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this game before we move over to the next. Appreciate you, Peasy. Dom says he thinks the first half will go under 78. I would just probably look at the Sky team total, honestly. This is a fact. Foster is not refereeing the game tonight. He did not get the job. 77 Figures says, great work all year, Chris. OKC by 20 today. Thinks it's a blowout smash spot. We shall see. 77 Figures. Appreciate you for tapping in all season, though, and definitely appreciate those words. Chad says, only game I don't have a look on. Definitely Dream or nothing. Mark says, ESPN bet has it at minus 120 on the 2.5. Juicy. Yeah, that's what I saw yesterday. So it hasn't moved a lot at all, Mark. I wrote it down on my little pink sticky yesterday. OKC first quarter. Jason says Phoenix banged 17 threes. And, the crazy thing is the Atlanta Dream are, in my opinion, even though they're really good, they're 9-4 straight up, 9-4 against the spread, they haven't been shooting the three-point shot well this season. And I think that they're a much better three-point shooting team. When I think about Ryan Howard, she's very streaky. She could hit 5 threes, or she could go 1 for 8 from the three-point line. We know that Chicago Sky are not a great three-point defense. That's not just last game. That's on the full season. And then in the last game that they played, Atlanta only shot 32% from the three-point line. They hit 12 of their 37 threes. Ryan Howard hit 9 of those, right? Alicia Gray shot 0 for 6 from the three-point line. Jordan Canada hit 2, but even Nia Coffey off the bench was 1 for 5 from the three-point line. Pow actually been shooting the ball really well. She went 0 for 2 from the three-point line. So, I mean, and now you got, Bree Jones out there shooting threes. Like, they could absolutely run the score up in this game. We'll see how fast the pace is being played, but I would bet Atlanta team total over anything. No hell either. Probably the best shooter, and that's a fact. Sammy Wickham got busy last night. I think she hit 5 of them things yesterday. I love it. Says he likes Brittany Griner over her rebounds. It should be a lot of misses. Also, remember this as well, real quick. I know I'm kind of going off script. Angel Reese, I talked about her under her rebounds in that last game. Would not surprise me if Angel Reese went under her rebounds again. Remember, Atlanta is one of the better defensive and offensive rebounding teams in the WNBA. So I know Angel Reese went under yesterday. I know she didn't play a lot of minutes. I wouldn't be betting Angel Reese over her boys today. I think it's another game where she could potentially go under again. I'll be looking at Angel Reese under her rebounds in this game. The line's probably still sitting at 11 and a half, I would say, maybe even 10 and a half. Let's see, rebounds for Angel Reese. Yeah, it's down to 10 and a half. When she played Atlanta last time, she finished with 9. Last 2 games, she's actually going under 10 and 2. She put out the whole little me boards, shirts and hats and hoodies and stuff. And now she can't get any more rebounds. She's actually going under in 3 of her last 4 games. So I would bet on her under her rebounds. Dream vs. Sky, first quarter, over 39 for incredible team. Okay. Mark says, worried about Atlanta blowing them out and taking foot off the gas, so he'll pass. And I agree. Algina says she agrees. She likes Angel Reese under. As well, points, rebounds, and assists, played the whole thing. Her assists she's looked okay dishing the ball, 3.5. She did only get the 3 last game against Atlanta, but she did have that 11 assist game. Granted, it was against Connecticut. All right, anyway, I'm taking too long on this game, man. This is the least likely game for me to ever bet, probably in WNBA history. Let's move over to the next game. Because I did bet a couple of these other ones. So the next one is the Fever and the Aces. I did play the Fever here. And I understand the Aces are going to get it together sooner or later. I absolutely agree. I just don't think it's going to be this game. I could be completely wrong. Maybe I got a wrong read on the game. This line opened at 1 yesterday when we were doing the show. It went up to 1.5. I said, you know what? I don't know how far the line's going to go, so I'm going to just go ahead and take the Fever now. And I took the Fever. Real quick, as far as the injury report goes, the Indiana Fever will be without DeWanna Bonner. I think this will be game number 4. The Aces will have everybody outside of Meg Gustafson and Cheyenne Parker-Tyus, who they haven't had in quite a while. The way what I put in my notes and what I sent in the write-up was I like the idea of Indiana coming off a loss. If Indiana wasn't coming off a loss, I think I probably would look a little bit more towards the Aces. But even then, I feel like I would need to be getting a few more points in this game. I know that they just lost, right? Both teams just lost. Indiana coming off a major letdown spot where they lost by double digits to the Valkyries. I think they'll be super locked in for this game from beginning to end. They also have the rest advantage here. Short travel, of course, from Golden State to Las Vegas. The Fever haven't necessarily been that great on the road, just 2-3 straight up and against the spread. But the Aces are the worst ATS team in the WNBA. They're 3-9, covering just 25% of their games. They're also just 1-5 against the spread at home for whatever reason. The Aces stink. This is the other big angle that I was looking at. From a franchise perspective, the Fever will be looking for their second win in franchise history against the Aces. Second win. They come into this game 1-20 straight up against the Aces in their existence, going all the way back to 2018. They're just 8-12-1 against the spread against the Aces as well, dating all the way back to 2018. The only time they beat the Aces was on August the 27th, 2019. The Aces have dominated this team. And from my perspective, the Aces just haven't put it together. Now, could they put it together in this game? Absolutely. But they have it, like, offensively and defensively, I'm just not seeing enough. Defensively, not being able to stop anybody, no matter how much like prep talk Becky Hammons has tried to get a team. They're the 9th in defensive rating, 10th over the last 5 games. And offensively, they've struggled as well. 9th on the season, 11th in the last 5 games. I think the Indiana Fever have enough offense to win this game. I think the Indiana Fever are gelling better than the Las Vegas Aces. The Aces will get right. I just don't think it'll be here. From a trend perspective, Aces 1-4 straight up, 0-5 against the spread against teams that have a winning record this season. Only win came against the Mystics when they were at home, and that was a game winner by Jewel Lloyd without Brittany Sykes. And then the other big trend was teams coming off a loss as the double-digit favorite, 52-22 straight up in the next game. That's 70.3%. If you look at them as road favorites, specifically 18-6. So I did bet Indiana in this spot. We'll see if the Aces can get it together. I'm not putting my money on the Aces, though. Not putting my money on the Aces. Will be on the Indiana Fever in this spot. Let's see what the thought processes are here. Timeout says, going back real quick. Brian says, I took Angel Reese over her boards last game. She stayed at the free throw line almost the whole first half. She didn't want to get no boards last night. Timeout says she ain't getting these rebounds the same because she's the best and the most versatile defender. She got to be on the perimeter. That team is bad. Really, really bad. Fever money line here for Jason. Like that we align. Very public, but only Fever for me, Chad says. Lover says he'll catch it live. Mark says he played the money line. This is what I played. Minus 120 on the money line, which I thought was going to move. It actually hasn't. So there's some stability here, right? If this is, a stock, right? There is Bulls and Bears kind of keeping this in consolidation with this line here, because I thought that this line was going to move. You can actually get the Indiana Fever. Hold on, what? Indiana Fever plus 104? Oh, yeah, it's definitely moved. So a lot of money has come in on the Aces are actually a favorite on DraftKings now. The Aces are now favored on DraftKings -1. So this line has done a quick little shift. -1.5 are the Aces on FanDuel. So you can actually get a much better number than me. You can get the Aces money line at plus 104. I lost 24 cents there. -105 now. It actually changed again. So -105 on FanDuel. I don't know if news has dropped or if I missed something or what, but let me just double check real quick. Because with that much price action coming in, I feel like the line may have moved. Just double check it real quick. Injury or something may have happened. Let's just double check. No, I don't see anything. Okay. Caitlin Clark under for T9, under her points, rebounds, and assists. Her rebounds and assists, I think, make a lot of sense, but Becky Hammond did take her out of the series last year, if you remember back to the games that they played. The game plan was not to make her a creator, make her a creator and not necessarily let her score. So we'll see if the other players can step up. Jason says, kind of like Boston today as well, over 20.5 points plus rebounds. She'll have a tough matchup with A'ja Wilson, but she has been hooping, absolutely been hooping. DJ says Aces really are struggling without Kelsey Plum. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell going to outshoot the Aces. Light work. Kind of agree. There we go. Knew it's going to be some people on the other side, and I get it. Donnie says Aces win. We're on the opposite side for sure. Fever's still upcoming. They're going to have to show me. Let's not act like we don't have a two-time MVP and champ over there. They've had that though, Donnie, and I'm not gonna keep going back and forth, but they've had that. They had it against the Storm last game as well, and got smoked in that game. They just don't got it right now, man. A'ja Wilson alone is not enough. Clearly, teams are double teaming them more. They don't have consistent shooting from Chelsea Gray, from Jewel Lloyd. She's shooting a career low from 2-point range, and she's averaging a career low since her rookie season. So. Those are my thought process and what I would be shooting back at you if I was firing back at you in this one. I just haven't seen it, man. Smoked by the Lynx, smoked by the Mercury, barely covered against the Wings. Shouldn't even won that game against the Wings. Lost to the Sparks as a double-digit home favorite. Well, 9, but they were laying 10 at the beginning. So I can't get there yet. Dom says he likes the under 171. Fever defense has been excellent on the road. They are 4-1, I think, because we liked that last game against the Valkyries, and that game did stay under as well. So I could see potential Aces team total under as well. I think that would be probably the pivot for me, especially with the total going up. Right, this was 167.5, and it's up to 171. Aces team total up to 87 now. Their team total is 86.5. The Aces have not scored 87 points since they played against the Wings and the Sparks, two really poor defensive teams. Wings, Sparks. Only time that they've gotten there so far this season. Wings, Sparks. And the Fever. 4-1 to the under on the road, only giving up about 75 points per game. They are also 1, 2, 3, 4. They've held 3 of their 5 opponents under their team total so far. Makes a lot of sense. Dirty Rick says, I'm going Fever. Tailspin continues for the Aces. They're going to get right. I just don't think it's going to be today. PG says Chelsea Gray is an absolute cone on defense. She is. Suspicious line movement. I agree, Meech. Mel says the books have no idea on this one. I agree with that. Says I'm going to go with Asia Wilson tonight. Should be a close game, but I think the Aces will rally on Caitlin Haight. I think they're going to need more than that. That's just my point, my thought process, though. Blake says I just can't with the Aces right now. They have been terrible shooting the ball, and that's a fact. Respect as well. Right back at you, Donnie. Jason says, watch Asia passing out of the double teams today. She needs to improve on it greatly. You'd think it would be a minor, but could be a part of the Aces' problems offensively. It absolutely is. I was reading this article. Not that y'all know I like live and breathe this stuff. So I'm reading this article that comes out from ESPN the other day, and they were talking about, the Aces struggling and why they've struggled. And some of it, was talked about their window and how like poorly they were when they got the first 3 picks and they drafted Kelsey Plum and Asia and Jackie Young in back-to-back years. But some of it was also like the amount of double teams that the Aces have faced this season. Like Asia points are down. Her efficiency is down. She shot 55% for her career. She's down to 45% for the full season now or 45 or 44, because they're throwing more double teams at her and they're making other players have to beat them, and they're not doing so. So with Stephanie White being the defensive mastermind that she is coming over from the Connecticut Sun, I do think that she's going to be able to, find ways to slow the Aces down as well. Not to say that you won't get the best effort, because the Aces continue to lose. So eventually they're going to get right. Just not it for me. Not it for me. Fever, money line, -120. Next game up, we got the Wings and the Mystics. I did bet this one as well. I'll jump straight into it. This line opened at 3, total open 163.5. Right now, the line is. I know I saw some money come in on the Mystics to push this up to 4.5. Total is 167. So I bet over. That line, of course, is gone. 3.5 point move. Hopefully that CLV means something. As far as injury report, the Dallas Wings have Dejanay listed as probable. I think she'll be out there. They'll continue to be without McCowan, continue to be without Maddie Seegers as well. And the Washington Mystics have everybody here. So Dallas has won their last 2 games in a row. They're 4-4 against the spread on the road, 5-9 overall. Their 2 wins have come against very, very unimpressive offensive teams. They beat the Valkyries and they beat the Connecticut Sun. Washington coming off a brutal 1-point loss against Atlanta, where they were 8.5 point dogs on the road. They're 8-5 against the spread on the season, 4-2 against the spread at home. This is their first home game after 2 straight road games. They've covered 4 of their last 5 games as well, so I can understand the money coming in on them here. Washington has beat Dallas 3 straight times and covered all 3 spreads dating back to last season. Those 2 games, these 2 teams have actually played in 4 straight overs, and a lot of those overs have come in Washington specifically. So when I bet the over yesterday, what I was looking at was Washington's fast pace. If anybody had a chance to watch Washington play against Atlanta in that game on, I think it was Friday night, Washington hit the brake. They hit the gas so quickly. I mean, they were running, getting out in transition. If the game's played anything like that, this game's going to soar over. I would think probably even 170 is what the total would get to. But I say all that to say Washington's 3rd in pace in their last 5 games. Dallas is playing at the 2nd fastest pace on the full season. We know Dallas is all gas. No breaks. They only want to fly up and down the floor. They only want to play fast. They only want to turn the ball over, which is why they end up not covering against the Connecticut Sun in their last game. Also, I looked at free throws. Washington actually takes the most free throws in the WNBA. Dallas fouls more than any other team except one in the WNBA. So Washington should be able to get to the line. They are a team that likes to attack the paint with Shakira Austin, Kiki Ariafin, even Aaliyah Edwards, all of these guards, even the guards. Brittany Sykes gets to the rim and penetrates probably a little bit more than most guards do as well. And then 3-point shooting. Washington's not a great 3-point shooting team, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were able to knock down some threes in this game. Dallas is the 2nd worst 3-point defense in the WNBA on the full season. Last 5 games, they actually did last as well. So when I was looking into this game, I got my own little system, my own little model that I use in conjunction with Moneyballer. Shout out to Moneyballer. But real quick, I just want to show you guys what I had saw. Well, not show you. I won't show you, but I'll share this with you guys real quick. So Washington and Dallas. So on the full season, the Washington Mystics games are averaging 158 points, right? So that's below this total, of course. Their last 5 games, however, they're averaging 161. So a little bit more in line to where this is now. On the full season for the Dallas Wings, their games are averaging 100 and what is this? 167 points. Their last 5 games, they're averaging 100 and let me do the math. 164 points. So based on the pace, based on the offensive efficiency that I think we'll see in this game, based on the free throw shooting, I do think we get up and over the total. I think Dallas has been playing a little bit better, especially, winning back-to-back games. Paige Beckers has looked absolutely elite with, getting to the mid-range shot. But the thing that scares me, like I said, is they played against 2 really poor offensive teams. So I guess they can keep it within the number. I mean, not. I think Washington can win the game. I don't want to lay points for Washington either, though. They're just a little too inconsistent. So I didn't bet the side. Did not bet the side, but I did bet the over yesterday. Chad says he got Mystics -3. Roll the Wings. They're trash. They are trash, but they've been playing a little bit better recently. Mark says WNBA schedule is so goofy, and I agree with that. Jason says, why do you think DeJounte is coming off the bench now, especially with them being without players for one reason or another? Because I think their bench unit struggles, Jason. If you think about it, right? Cocleans, however you pronounce his name, the coach for the Dallas Wings, he's without Maddie Siegrist, right? So when you don't have Maddie Siegrist, who's averaging about 10 points off the bench, one of the the better bench players in the WNBA, when you don't have her coming off the bench, you got to replace their offense with something, right? I think that's the reason why you move DeJounte, because she can run the second unit, right? When Paige comes out or when Enrique comes out. I mean, they got enough guards, in my opinion. So I actually like the move with Enrique coming off the bench. I do like that move. I mean, not Enrique. I'm sorry. DeJounte coming off the bench. She's come off the bench, I think, in the last 2 or 3 games now. Mark says he played over 163. Mel says Mystics are one of the teams I'd rather take as underdogs, but I don't know about taking the Wings on the road, skip or total type of game. And I absolutely agree, Mel. Not one to lay too many points with the Mystics for sure. -3, like Chad got, I think would probably be the best of the number. I don't want to lay too many points though. I'd rather have them as a dog. And as a dog this season, they've been excellent. Well, not excellent. 5-4 against the number. As a favorite, they're 3-1 though. They have covered as a favorite so far this season. They have covered as a favorite so far this season. They've also gone over their team total in 3 to 4 games as well. Only time they stayed under was against the Valkyries. So couldn't talk anybody off a team total here. Look as well if they like the Mystics. Jason says, bro, how good was Shakira Austin last game? Now that she gets the minutes, I think she played 33. Yeah, I mean, if you're the coach for the Mystics, you got a lot of figuring out to do, because you got a lot of bigs that can score the basketball. So yeah, I don't know what to do with that. But could she have another game like that? I mean, if she can do it again, against Bree Jones and against Brittany Griner, I mean, she could absolutely do it against who Dallas gonna have out there center? Ruth? I think she could work Ruth for sure. But like I said, they shared the wealth a little bit too much, and that led to Kiki Irfin going under in the last game. So it wouldn't surprise me if Kiki goes off in this game. What up, Helm? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. He likes Brittany Sykes here, over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Mystics race to 20, -150. Okay. Dirty Rig says the Mystics turn the ball over way too much. For me, I'm scared to give up points with the Mystics too. And you know who also turns the ball over way too much? The Dallas Wings. Boy, do they turn the ball over too much. I'm watching them and I'm like, bro, how do you keep turning the ball over to the Connecticut Sun, like, of all teams? So that's going to present more opportunities for the Washington Mystics to score the basketball, in my opinion. Dallas Wings are 10th in the last 5 games as far as turnover rate. They're turning the ball over more than every other team except 3. And you're right, the Dallas Wing, let's see, the Washington Mystics they actually turn the ball over more than the Dallas Wings do, 11. So ball security for both of these teams should be a problem in this game, especially if the other team plays defense. Hopefully that leads to a lot of transition buckets. Dom says he'll cut it in half, play Mystics first half. First half -2, okay. All right, let's push over to the next game. I also bet this one. The line that I bet is now gone. I did take the Storm here, plus the 4.5. I saw something in this game that I don't think was quite reported to the public yet, which was that Jaquel Jones, which I already kind of figured she wasn't going to play, but Jaquel Jones, I can't remember if I read that she wasn't with the team or what I read. But Jaquel Jones, I think the line has come down because Jaquel is not going to be available for this game. She's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. And now, you're without Jaquel and you're without Leonie Febish. And that's proven to be pretty bad for the New York Liberty as of late. This was, probably the best team in the WNBA at the beginning of the season. Throughout the first, 8-9 games, they were the team that lost the last game, right? They were the last undefeated team is what I'm trying to say. And they absolutely have been struggling in their last few games. So I think I put this in my write-up. Yeah, the Liberty 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the spread on the road. So they haven't really been covering a lot of road games. They look, like I said, look great to start the season, but only 1-3. Have only won one of their last 3 games. They failed to cover 3 in a row. Only 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. They played 4 of their last 5 games over. And if you go through the numbers, that's what has actually really taken a really, really big dip is their defense, right? We talked about Leonie Febish recently, the impact without her on the floor. We talked about that in the Mercury game. And now you're without Jaquel as well. I just feel like the Storm are playing too good for me not to take points with them being a home dog. Seattle 3-3 against the spread at the crib, 6-4 against the spread on the season. This is the first game after a 3-game Western Conference road trip. Luckily, all 3 of those games were on the West Coast. Typically, you want to fade the team coming back home after a 3-game road trip or more, especially if they won as a dog, which they did beat the Aces in their last game. But I still think the Storm are balling right now, man. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. They've covered 4 of their last 5 games, over in 4 of their last 5 games as well, which shows me that the offense has actually been playing really, really good. And I saw something with the Storm because they got out to a nice lead in the first quarter against the Aces in their last game. And then they got smoked in the second quarter. I think they lost the second quarter 23-14. We're down, 6-7 points at halftime. They came all the way back and smoked the Aces, won the game by 7 as a 3-point dog. And that was with the Aces, in a desperation spot. I like this Storm team, man. I really, really do. Have they wet the bed for me before? Yes. Specifically game 1 against the Mercury, absolutely look terrible. But the way Gabby Williams is playing, I love what I'm seeing from Erica Wheeler in the starting lineup. We know what NECA is going to do. Ezzy, Malunga, they got the bigs, to play defense. I think they also got the size to be able to slow down Sabrina in this game. If they put Gabby Williams on her, she's one of the better defensive players in the WNBA this season. Probably, dark horse to win Defensive Player of the Year as well. She had that 8 steal game against the Valkyries. Was it against the Valkyries? No, it was against the Sparks 2 games ago. So, yeah, I did bet the Storm in this spot. The number, of course, has dropped. So we'll see what CLV even means. But I do think the Seattle can potentially win this game outright. The other thing I wanted to mention, New York has owned the Seattle. So 2 teams I'm betting on today to actually overcome being owned by the other team. 1, the Indiana Fever been owned by the Aces. 2, this Seattle Storm team has been owned by the New York Liberty. I don't think Stewie has lost to this team since she left the Seattle Storm. New York has beaten Seattle 7 straight times. The totals are 7-3 to the under in the last 10 games, 5-1 to the under in the last 6. And the last thing I put in the write-up is New York defense started to fall a lot. They gave up 89 points to the Mercury. They gave up 81 to the Atlanta Dream. They gave up 102 to the Indiana Fever. And those were their last 3 games after not giving up 80 for their first 6 straight games. So this Liberty defense has been really, really poor. They do play really fast. They're still playing at the fastest pace in the league. Seattle offense has scored 83 points or more in 5 of their last 6 games. I think they can keep it going here today, man. I think even though Seattle's coming back home, even though I'm expecting some desperation for, this New York Liberty team, I think Seattle will fight tooth and nail, especially in front of their home crowd. And I think that they can potentially even win this game. So that's the way I chose to bet it. Seattle is 5th in defensive rating in the last 5 games, actually scoring more points than any other team in the WNBA right now at 88.2 in their last 5 games as well. Number 1 in turnover rate. They don't turn the ball over at all, especially at home. I think the ball security will be key here as well. I just love. And the other thing was their 3-point shooting. And I don't want to jinx this, so I probably should whisper it. The Seattle Storm are shooting 39.8%, 38.5% from the 3-point line on the full season. That's number 1. The Seattle Storm are also shooting 42.9% from the 3-point line over the last 5 games. That's number 1. And the New York Liberty can absolutely get steamrolled, giving up 3-point shots. They're actually ninth in opponent above the break 3-point percentage over the last 5 games. And the losses that they've had, you've seen teams be able to light them up from the 3-point line. Specifically, I'm thinking about the loss to the Indiana Fever. I'm thinking about the loss to where Caitlin Clark hit like 3 threes in 5 minutes in like 1 minute. I'm thinking about them struggling against Atlanta. Atlanta was shooting the 3-point shot really, really well in the first half before their defense started to click. And then Phoenix Mercury shot the 3-point shot really, really well in their last loss as well. So, yeah, don't tell anybody, but we need Seattle to continue to shoot the ball really, really well. Gabby Williams make some threes. Erica Wheeler knock down some threes. Skylar Diggins make 2 threes. NECA hit some threes. And we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, I'm on Seattle in this game. Let's go through the comments real quick. Tell you guys see what you guys are thinking. And we'll move over. I think we got one more game. Yeah, one more game in the W. Let's see. Do what I miss. Ionescu over for Jason. We shall see. Helms like Gabby over her points, rebounds, and assists. I love Gabby. Chad says Storm size will be a problem, and of course, Gabby Williams, I can't talk high enough about, and absolutely agree. I do agree with all of this. Stewie to get 7 boards for Helms. I couldn't talk you off of that. Dom says screw the points. He's taking Storm on the money line here. Helms says I want to take Noelle Quinn Coach of the Year, but how you pronounce her name? Nakashi? I think it's like Nakashi. Probably locked it up already, and I agree. Man, Golden State is good. We're going to talk about them in a second. They are good, man. They are really, really good. Jason says Storm starters playing heavy minutes. One of the tighter rotations in the league. Yeah, but they got some bench players, I think. I think so, Jason. I think so. Mark says he couldn't pass up the 4.5. Gabby Williams rebounds ladder. She did get her first career double-double in that last game against the Aces. Yeah, first time she had ever gotten double-digit rebounds in her career. I couldn't talk you off. Could not talk you off. This Liberty team, if they have a deficiency, is their 3-point defense. Kind of remind me of the Oklahoma City Thunder a little bit. 3-point defense is not that great, and rebounding. Not a good rebounding team at all. The Liberty. And you heard Stewie said that on ESPN the other day when she was getting interviewed. Let's see. What's Gabby's rebounds? Gabby's rebounds. She's 13.5 points. She had 18 against the Aces in that last game. I want to say she plays better at home as well. Her rebounds are 4.5. She's coming off a game where she had 12. And the Liberty allowed the 3rd most rebounds in the WNBA. Makes a ton of sense. She did play against them twice last season. She finished with 4 rebounds in both of those games. Could not talk you off Gabby over her boards in this spot. I like it a lot. I do like it a lot. Yeah, and it's plus money. Let's see what else y'all saying. Helms says such a high total for a Seattle game. It's because their offenses look good, Helms. I didn't touch the total, but I kind of wanted to immediately go to Seattle team total over. I think this total opened at 164.5 is what I wrote in my notes yesterday. And it's up to 160. It's actually come back down. I saw it up to 167. So it's come back down. You guys see 167. I just made the graphic right before I started the show. I know it's been an hour, but I just made the graphics right before I started the show. It's come back down now. It has come back down to 164.5. I think I don't want to face Seattle's offense. Maybe just the New York Liberty. Yeah, I would bet Seattle team total over before I bet anything in this game. Seattle team total is, and maybe that's the best way to bet it right now. Probably won't double dip, but the Storm's team total is 81.5. I think that they can get to 82 points. I think the Liberty, with the pace that they've been playing at, they are the New York Liberty, number 1 in pace on the full season, number 1 in pace last 5 games. I think that we can see some pace in this game. It's either going to go way over the total or it's going to go way under the total. That's what you see in the WNBA. No way to try to figure it out, actually. Brian says, sounds like you're riding with Seattle tonight. I am. Bitsy reminding people to hit the like button for all the inside info. Appreciate that, Bitsy. Yeah, hit the like button, man. Smash that like button. It takes you 2 seconds. Appreciate that. SSX says, just got here, Chris. You got a lot to catch up on, but I will tell you, I did play the Fever money line, so we like that. Golden State coach looking like coach of the year. Absolutely. Let's bet it says Liberty team total under 83.5. Think they could struggle to score here. Okay. 30 Rig says buy low spot on the Liberty. They're 4-1 on the road. Heart of a champion. I agree with all of those points. Buy low spot on Liberty. I agree. They're coming off a loss as a favorite. Potential bounce back. I agree with that. Heart of a champion. I agree with that. What I don't like is the personnel. I think without Leone Phoebus, and I want to say when in my write-up, let me just check my write-up real quick. I sent the write-up to the members yesterday. I want to say in the write-up I had, here we go. So without Jaquel Jones and Leone Phoebus on the floor, this New York team has a defensive rating of 107, which is one of the worst in the WNBA. With everybody in, they have a defensive rating of 93. So this defense is the biggest thing, which is why I like Seattle team total. I think they can get to 82 points in this game. Because from a personnel perspective, you can't replace Leone Phoebus and Jaquel Jones with Kennedy Burke and Maureen Johannes. Like that's just not gonna cut it. To me, that's more offense, not any more defense. So Seattle team total over 81. May even add it. Helm says he took the Aces first half. Don't trust him in the second. No Steph White for Indiana scared me off them. They actually played really, really well without Stephanie White. Their coach had the suit on. He was looking like like he was all about business, man. We'll see if they can get the job done on the road here. I believe in just the defensive philosophies and the principles here, man. Appreciate you for tapping in, Dex. Let's move over to the last game. We got one more, which is the Sun and the Valkyries. This line opened 7.5 yesterday in favor of the Valkyries. I don't even know what the total opened. Don't want to make it up either. Let's just see if I can find it real quick. Looks like it opened 157.5. What I wrote in my notes was, I wrote 158.5. So money has come in on the under, pushed it down 4 points to 154.5. Money has come in on the Connecticut Sun, on the Golden State Valkyries as well, pushing this up to 10. And this game I'll be on really, really briefly. I have tried to fade the Connecticut Sun, I think 4 times this season. I've been successful 1 time. Connecticut took my money against the Minnesota Lynx. Connecticut took my money against the Phoenix Mercury. Connecticut took my money against the Dallas Wings. So I should have immediately faded them at -7, but I didn't do it. This will be the Valkyries' first time all season that they've been laying points. And I just don't know how they're going to play in that role. Now, I do expect Connecticut to struggle to score the basketball. There's also really big injury implications in this game. Marina Mabry is listed as game time decision. She got hurt right before halftime. She ended up starting the second half and playing the second half. She didn't do much in that time, but she is listed as game time decision in this game. The Valkyries will continue to be shorthanded. Doesn't matter though. Like the Valkyries were shorthanded in that last game against the Indiana Fever and smoked Indiana Fever, beat them by double digits as the double-digit dog. It's just not a team that I'm willing to bet against right now. The Indiana Fever are playing some of the most elite. The Valkyries are a team that's playing some of the most consistent basketball that we've seen. Will they win by double digits as first time as a favorite all season, all year, franchise history? I'm not sure. But what I do know is that they're 8-4 against the spread on the full season. At home, they've covered every single spread except one. They're 5-1 straight up. 5-1 against the spread, 4-2 straight up. But they're only winning by average of 3 points because they've been dogs every single time. The one thing that's been super consistent is their defense, right? They have held every single opponent under their team total outside of the Lynx when the Lynx went over their team total by 1 point. They're only giving up 76 points per game. But like I said, the total has already come down and the spread has already gotten bigger. So if you wanted that, you probably should have bet it already. The Connecticut Sun, especially if they're without Marina Mabry, going to be in a really, really tough spot as far as being able to score the basketball. So team total right now for the Connecticut Sun. And one more thing I want to mention for Connecticut. Connecticut team total 72.5, maybe even a first half under. Connecticut team total first half under would be the way that I would look. I didn't bet the game though. The other thing I wanted to mention, right? We talked about this in the last game, was on the situational spot here. The Connecticut Sun, this will be their first road game, traveling all the way from Connecticut with only 1 day of rest in between, traveling all the way to Connecticut, from Connecticut to Golden State. And it'll also be game number. So they played the 15th, 17th, 20th, and 21st. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this will be their 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth game in 8 nights. Most of those came with travel, but they have covered 3 straight games in a row. Probably get smoked in this game just because I didn't bet against them. So we shall see. Connecticut is 6-7 against the spread on the full season. And they had that nice little trend going where they were covering the game and then they were getting smoked in the last game. So previous ATL win, they are now 2-3 after covering two in a row. 0-5 straight up though. And on the road, 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. I think I want to lay the points with the Valkyries. Real quick, let me just show you guys what I looked at. And then we'll jump into a quick recap. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Again, hit the like button for me if you guys can and you have not already. Appreciate that for sure. All right, so this is the the Connecticut Sun. What I got here is previous ATS win. So this is when they've coming off a game where they did cover and then they're on the road. 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread, not covering by average of 25.2 points and losing the game outright by 36 points. 94-58. Smoked by the Dream in this spot, lost by 24. Smoked by the Liberty, lost by 48. Smoked by the Mystics, lost by 37. I think it's a Valkyrie spot for sure. But like I said, the reason I didn't bet it because we haven't seen the Valkyries laying points before. I want to see how they play in that role. Is it a letdown spot? Because if so, I'll probably be on them live. If they, come out, they, a little fugazi with the offense to start the game. But yeah, I do think the Connecticut Sun get absolutely mollywopped in this game. That's my thought process. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Valkyries for Chad. He played first half -4.5. Helm says Sun team total under 72.5. Only thing I could get to. Yeah, don't really want to lay this many points, man. Let's see, first half. I'm just thinking about putting those two plays together, right? Chad says Valkyries first half. Helm says Sun team total under. The first half team total for the Connecticut Sun is 36.5. That's a little bit of points, man. But the Valkyries aren't allowing you to score that many points at the crib. Like, their defense has been elite, specifically in the first half. So, cannot talk you off for that at all. Real quick, I kind of want to see what that looks like. Valkyries at the crib. They're allowing 37.7 points per first half. 37.7 first half points. And these have been against elite offensive teams, right? Sparks, Sparks, Lynx, Aces, Storm, Fever. I struggle to see how they're going to get to 36 in the first half. I also struggle to see how they're going to get to 72 for the full game. Like those looks a lot. Just hate getting to the line late. Chad says Valks have probably the best defensive principles in the W. I think they will play exact same no matter who the opponent is. And intensity-wise, coach is awesome. And I absolutely agree with that. Dirty Rig says the Sun is down by 15 or less going into the fourth quarter. I can possibly see a backdoor cover for them. If they're down by 10, I'm betting the Valkyries. I think that they do win the game by. I think the Valkyries do win the game by 10 plus points. Real quick, let's just see where Connecticut goes to next. Being that they're on the West Coast, probably got a nice little West Coast road trip. Yeah, Connecticut plays the Aces on Wednesday, and then they play Seattle and Minnesota. So nice little 4-game road trip. They probably get absolutely smoked in this one, man. I do think that they get smoked. Another thing I want to mention real quick, I'm just looking at their game log. Their road games, the Indiana Fever. Last time they played a road game, they played Indiana. They scored 71 points. Before that, they played in DC. This was 2 Sundays ago. They got smoked by the Mystics. Lost that game 104. Only scored 67 points. And then the game before that they played on the road was against the New York Liberty. They scored 52 points. So this offense against Atlanta, 55 points. So that what Helms was saying, I would have loved to get a 74.5. But what Helms was saying about that team total makes a ton of sense. 55 to Atlanta, 52 against New York, 67 against Washington, 71 against Indiana. First game on the West Coast after traveling from Connecticut. Valkyries, one of the better defensive teams in the WNBA. And potentially no Marina Mabry. I mean, we just stirring the pot. We cooking. That's cooking right there. Natalie says, hey, Chris, I like the Dream Fever and Valkyries on the spread today. Dream Fever, Valkyries. I like those two. Didn't bet the Dream. Did bet the Fever, though, and I didn't bet the Valkyries yet. Jalen says, Golden State first half full game. I like that. I love it. Says, Suns are just as bad as the Sky. Sun are bad as the Sky. Sun might be worse than the Sky. The Sun got smoked by the Sky. The Sky looked like they were going to the playoffs when they played against the Sun. Beat them by like 20 in Connecticut at that as well. Martez says Skylar Diggins over her points or Cardoso over her points. I wouldn't play Cardoso today. I think Cardoso got her work cut out today. I don't even know how Atlanta's going to be. I don't even know how Connecticut, how Chicago is going to be able to score against Atlanta, honestly. I could be wrong, though. We did just see Secure Austin go crazy against that front court. I could be wrong. Chad says, don't overthink it. Lay it. I agree with that. Suns are worse than the Sky, and they absolutely are. Just when I bet against the Sun, they absolutely come to play. 3 straight covers. I hate this team. We know that they're trash, though. Potentially without Marina Mabry. I agree. All right, so getting into a quick recap. That is the last game on the board. Indiana. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about this when I put these WNBA bets in last night. So this Indiana is Fever. I didn't think about that at all. Indiana. I'm not on the Indiana Pacers money line. Indiana Fever money line. I did play Dallas and Washington over the 163.5. That total is now up. I think a pivot would be Washington team total over. I do think that game's going to be high scoring between those two teams. So pivot would be Washington team total over. Seattle plus the 4.5. That line is gone. If I had to bet it right now, I do think Seattle over 81.5 would be the best bet in that game. This is OCK. That's not a team. OKC. OKC first quarter minus 2.5 is available in the NBA. OKC first half minus the 4.5 is my favorite two NBA bets. I do like the under 215, and I'm considering Pacers. I think in order for the NBA bets, these are the ones that I like, and they're actually there. I like the under more than I like the under more than I like the Pacers. I like the first half more than I like the under. I like the first quarter more than I like the first half. So these will go in order, but the first two probably being about even. And then Tyrese Halliburton under those assists, right? I didn't bet it, but that would be the player prop look that I like. Under 6.5 assists for Tyrese Halliburton, something that he's done every single road game in this NBA Finals so far. And he stayed under in the last game, only had 10 potential assists. So that's what I'm liking, man. Appreciate everybody for showing up, showing out today in the comment section. Like I said, it's going to be a great day. Feel like I've been talking forever. Get off here, go get a good workout in, go to the car wash, get the whip clean, and get ready for some basketball, man. Appreciate you guys for tapping in as always. Sign up link is in the description as it always is for anybody wanting to sign up for the plays that I send out when I do send them out. And resources as always, jaXon, Outlier, Moneyballer. Go back. I will chop the show up if you join late so you can see it in sections, in chapters. But yeah, hit the like button for me on the way out if you guys found the show helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn the notification bell on so you know when I go live. Best of luck on your NBA bets. This will be the last day, of course, of NBA. And we'll be back for WNBA as we always do to continue the rest of the summer, man. Catch you guys in the next one, man. Enjoy your Sunday.